The views and opinions expressed in the Golden Boot podcast are those of the speaker and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of the Golden Boot podcast as a whole.
Y'all ready to get rolling? Quiet on the set. Hey, welcome back. Another hot episode of HBCU Hour. It's your boy Pooh Bear. I got my man Ant Petty Murphy in the building. What's good, my boy?
What's happening with you, bro?
So I got two things. First, kickers get on my nerves. All you got to do is kick, hit the extra point. But anyway, I'm gonna get off of that. Dylan also told me to tell you he wants you to know. He wanted you specifically to know that he gave his all in practice today. It was his championship week. He gave his all in practice today, and he made a real good tackle. It hurt his head, but he made the tackle. He laid it on the line for the team.
They just got to do that this weekend.
Yep. But he wants you to know.
I appreciate that.
He said, "Is Ant gonna be on the show tonight?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Can you tell Ant what I did in practice today?" So I would definitely let him know.
That's my dog, man. Keep up the good work, dear.
Yep. So hope he keeps up the good work, and I can retire early one day. So, but we're gonna see. I ain't gonna be one of them parents though, helicopter parents. But man, listen, we got a good show in store tonight. It's some teams that shocked us this weekend. It's some teams look like they ready to take the next step. And we got a very special guest with us. I'm just letting anticipation build. Everybody, who's on the show? We got the man himself. We got Cobi Orr got his fireplace. So, yeah.
You in that fireplace, bro.
Man, listen, it's famous. It's famous. You think it? Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till he get on here because I can tell you how famous it is. We're gonna get there. But first, y'all know what we gotta do. We gotta give a shout out to our sponsors over at BetOnline. BetOnline.ag. We'll be back in 1 minute. BetOnline.ag is your number one source for all your sports information, stats, news, and scores. Get the latest odds, lines, and player injury reports for this year's NBA and NHL playoffs. BetOnline is always your sports information headquarters. This season, we have you covered for all your sports wagering needs. We have everything from NBA, NFL, MLB, and NHL to golf, tennis, UFC, and boxing. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to get your betting info, including live betting options and your favorite casino and card games that you can play right from your home. Head on over to betonline.ag today or use your mobile device to get in on the action. Be sure to use the promo code BLEAV to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we had to bring them back. We talking, you know what I'm saying? You have a game between South Carolina State, Delaware State. Got to bring the man back. And we can talk a little bit about Jackson State, too. Cobi Orr back in the building with us. What's good, Cobi?
What's good?
What up, bro?
Thank y'all for having me, too, by the way.
Hey, anytime. Always, man. Always. Cobi, Ant was like, you heard what he said about the fire. He's like, man, you in this fireplace. Tell people what happened when you threatened to get rid of the fireplace on the show.
Man, I made a bet with Jackson State fans for week 0. And I was like, all right, if y'all win, I cut off the fireplace or whatever, because they was just talking trash. So of course they won. and I went live, and I ain't had the fireplace on, and they were angry. Literally every other comment. Turn the fireplace back on. Turn the fireplace back on. Why is it off? It don't feel right. That fireplace. When I move, it's gonna be a problem because I'm either have to buy another.
What's gonna happen, man? Get you a picture. Get you a picture of the fireplace.
That's smart too. That's it.
So, but man, it's good to have you back on, man. We're gonna talk to about this game, South Carolina State, Delaware State. We're gonna get there, but first, man, I think we should start with Jackson State. Jackson State coming off a loss on homecoming, and everybody was, people were taking shots. Oh man, they about to, go to Valley. Valley about to, put it on them.
That's crazy to even think. Number one, also Valley. Valley wasn't too far from doing it, right? It wasn't a blowout or anything. No, they wasn't gonna lose to Valley. People who were realistic about what this team would be like this year knew or expected this thing. They weren't gonna go undefeated. Unfortunately, they gave TC the expectations of Coach Prime. And Coach Prime is an anomaly. He is an anomaly, bro. Only he can turn something around that fast just because of the star power. You don't have to do much. His name is what gets this talent to overwhelm everybody else. Now, TC is 5-3 in his first year as a head coach. That's damn good.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about, nobody gives this man credit for that. That's damn good. Okay. That didn't really play so well versus FAMU. In the second half, they kind of held them out. Okay, I get Texas State. Come on, man. Those boys just loaded up in the offseason. They are way more talented than people give them credit for. And the uncharacteristic loss to Alabama State, I kind of expected this. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't see them lose. Maybe they'll lose one more in conference play, but I don't really see it. Overall, man, TC in this first year, 5-3, they doing a damn good job now. Versus Mississippi Valley, they gotta fix a lot of things. 6 fumbles that just ain't gonna do it with nobody. But other than that, man, this is what I expected. If you're being real about Jackson State, this is what you expected. They're gonna struggle somewhere. They're gonna have to fix things somewhere down the road. It is what it is.
Yeah.
I think
when you look at not having Mulligan for that game, you didn't have that workhorse that you've been relying on all season to say you still was able to run the ball, the way you were, almost 200 yards rushing. I think that goes to show that they're doing something right over there at Jackson. You just got to give them time. They still a physical team on that offensive line with their running game. And they good enough to beat just about anybody in conference play on any given Saturday. So for people who thought that it was going to fall off completely, I think that was exaggerated a little bit. But to your point, Cobi, I think for anybody who thought that they were going to repeat or, keep that same level of success they had with Prime, that was kind of unrealistic as well.
Right. So, putting in a new quarterback with Jacoby and Morgan. You got a little bit of playing time the week prior, but this is his first time starting since he was a freshman at Syracuse. I think he played very well. He had a couple of bad snaps that wasn't his fault, but he looked like he can provide something for this offense that Jason Brown can't. As far as those missed throws, I chalk that up to timing and not having his timing down with those starting wide receivers because he never had time with them. It was always Jason getting those snaps, but I think he'll get those down. And honestly, I think they'll be good going forward.
Yeah, that dynamic he brings with his legs is totally different for that offense too.
Yeah. I looked at this, and I completely agree. What's good, Doc? I completely agree with what you said, Cobi. This game, no slight to, and I'm high on Mississippi Valley, but I still think they're a year away. I've been saying that all season. I'm sticking with it. I do think they're a little bit ahead of the curve because they've got their quarterback.
Oh yes, they do. Yes, they do.
But I still think they're next year. I think is when we'll see. And no, I'm not saying they finna win the East or anything, but I think they'll be, a lot more competitive. Without, first of all those coaches that new head coaches in the SWAC look, at least they have the mentality and I can't think of the word I'm looking for. They have that in what you need in a head coach. That mentality, the culture that they're instilling. I think that all three are doing a great job in that. Coach Wade, I think, like I said, I think he's ahead of the curve. I'm looking forward to him. I expected Jackson State to win this game. I know Valley scored late in the game, or at the end of the game, rather, to make the score at least look a little bit more respectable. But I think Jackson State, as Ant said, they still have the talent to get it done. They aren't as far off as people, or they didn't fall as far as some people wanted them to fall, or as some expected them to fall. So, I think this is a good spot for them. Coach Taylor has done a great job, and I look forward to seeing how they finish out the season. But moving on, I do want to see how this team finishes the season. Alcorn took on Arkansas Pine Bluff. They got the win 31-7. I do want to see how Alcorn finishes out the season because I think they are clicking on offense where I thought they would be on offense, or who's leading his offense is not. Aaron Allen has, I guess, he threaded the man meal and he gonna step that thing up. So he's iron sharp as iron is probably the epitome of what happened there, and they are honestly looking real good to possibly win the West.
They got to be considering that game versus Southern is at Alcorn. I think you got to consider them the favorite right now in the West.
Yeah. Pine Bluff.
They were supposed what they did versus Pine Bluff. They were supposed to do. Let's get,
Yeah. I hate how Pine Bluff has looked. I did ask Coach Hampton today about it, and I was trying to word it in a way to not be disrespectful because I asked him about the defense. It felt like the defense has kind of regressed a little bit, but he said something that I didn't realize. He said their two best defensive players have been out since week 2. He said, but you probably wouldn't notice it. He said, because everybody has stepped up and has been playing. He said, but they've missed assignments, being out of some key gaps and stuff like that. He said, so it's no excuse. He said, but they definitely didn't slow down. So,
yeah, I mean, Jarvin Howard had a game on Saturday, and he had the game we kind of been waiting on him to have in a sense, but Aaron Allen continues to lead that offense and look like one of the better quarterbacks in the SWAC. But like Cobi said, I mean, they did what they were supposed to do against UAPB. UAPB struggling right now. They don't really have an identity on offense, and they're gonna play hard. They're gonna play. They're not gonna lay down. But right now, they just ain't got the horses.
Yeah, I agree. But team that we talked about, or you just mentioned to possibly, challenge that in that West, we got to see if they're going to repeat. Southern took on Bethune-Cookman, finished that game 28-18. Coach Woody and his guys almost there.
Yeah, I thought Bethune was going to give them more of a game than they did. Southern kind of controlled that game for the most part. Blood looking pretty good though lately though, man. I gotta give credit. I think he done got in the groove, got comfortable in that offense, and he looked like he was full command of that offense. So they if that offense keep clicking for Southern like that, they're gonna be a tough out because we all know what they do defense.
Yeah, big facts. FAMU took on Texas Southern and got the win 31-21. FAMU was down in this game to start it off, going into halftime.
I'm tired of it, bro. I'm tired of like FAMU is number one in the SWAC, man. We shouldn't go through this every week where we gotta put y'all on upset alert for the first 2 quarters, and then y'all want to come out after halftime and play like you should be playing because the depth is crazy. The talent is your wide receiver room is freaking ridiculous. I don't even think people really know just how deep it is. You got the quote unquote best quarterback in the SWAC. You got a nice running back room. You got a great defense. What is the problem? What is not clicking for y'all for the first 2 quarters? I don't like it. This is why people think I'm hating when I say this. They keep playing with their food. It's gonna come back to bite them. It's gonna come back to bite them at some point, and I don't want that to happen for them. This is just what I noticed, man. You keep playing with people for 2 quarters. You can't just turn it on every time. You got to play a whole game, which is why I hope they don't slip up before they get to Atlanta. But it is a possibility if they keep up this kind of play.
Yeah, that's true.
They got Prairie View this week. We're gonna talk a little bit more about that on Thursday. Doc Holliday said someone gonna catch FAMU slipping. It's November 4th. They come to Huntsville. They come to Normal. I'm just saying that game's setting up real nice. So yeah. D-Lob said Jackson State kind of did the same thing with Dion.
Kind of did what?
I'm guessing he's saying that they play with their food a lot.
Oh no, not like FAMU. Don't get me wrong. Yeah, no, they definitely had their games with Jackson State, but this is a consistent thing with FAMU. Jackson State might give you a game like that, but then they'll also give you an ass whooping that they put on Alabama and in the next week. You know what I'm saying? Like, and then they'll give you a game where they control it pretty good, and then they'll come back and they'll play with their food again. FAMU, this is every week. First 2 quarters, we're gonna play with our food. Then after that, we're gonna show y'all who we really is. They gotta stop that.
Yeah. You got anything on the SWAC before we Doc Holliday said their issues with the O-line in 21. Yeah, so
yeah.
Before we move out to the MEAC, we got anything else on the SWAC before we move on? So there was 4 teams that were on buys. I think it was 4. I know Alabama State, Alabama A&M, Grambling. Right. And was somebody else on bye? Let's see. Who am I missing? Who's missing? So Jackson is out there. Alcorn, Bethune, Texas Southern. Prairie View. Okay, there we go. Prairie View. Thank you. So those 4 were on bye. Which is funny because we're gonna drop our D1 HBCU top 10 and just about everybody who was on bye ended up moving up just because they were on bye. Everybody else lost. So it's interesting. I don't know who wants to talk about it more now. But let me go ahead and tease it at least. FAMU is welcoming Prairie View this Thursday. Can they afford against Prairie View to have this slow start? Because I want to be fair. The teams they've had this slow start against, Alabama State. I don't necessarily think they had a slow start against Southern.
Texas Southern.
They did against Texas Southern. So quality opponent kind of steps up a little bit. Can they afford this?
Nah. I don't know when, man, but at some point, I just know if they keep this up, it's gonna come back. It's gonna come back to get them.
Valley, they had them against Valley in Valley, so
hell, he's much order if we're being honest.
So
Yeah, I mean, honestly, you at some point you got to just play a full game. You know what I mean? You got to put together a complete game, and whether that, I mean, we're talking about PV. Is it going to be PV? I mean, it might be Bethune if you know what I mean. If you don't put together a complete game, so I think it ain't about who the opponent is. It's just about making sure you do your responsibility and play your complete game.
Yeah. D-Live said it don't matter if slow start or not, they gonna beat PV. And I know we keep saying the complete game. Is Jackson State the closest to a complete game they've had?
Probably.
Even with Jackson State, they came out swinging the first 2 quarters and they were held scoreless the last 2.
That's true.
Yeah. You know, Jeremy Musa started missing throw.
It honestly might be South Florida in a loss.
Yeah, it has to be South Florida. That was their best, which is ironic, but yeah, it was South Florida.
Yeah, and only reason I said okay, so and Doc Holliday said nope. Terrence Roberts said JSU, then South Florida. Only reason, so because I know Jackson State. They score, if I'm not mistaken, they did score in the second half, but it was called back on a penalty. They had a field goal block and they missed a field goal or something like that. I know they had scoring opportunities, so it wasn't like they just weren't moving the ball or anything. It's just yeah. So, but I'm just I think that game Prairie View this week seems like it's a threat, but I think that game at A&M is going to be the game. If they come out slow in that game, because with A&M is a second half team. If that game is tied at half, or if A&M is down by 3 or something like that, give me A&M. I'm to take the A&M going to finish that off. So, because anyway. We'll talk more about that later on. Moving on to the MEAC. Norfolk State, Howard. It was Howard's homecoming. Norfolk State threatened to ruin that one, and Howard ended up coming back getting the win 27-23.
Man, who would have thought Norfolk would be this competitive this year?
Right.
After that first week, I think that was week 1.
Virginia State.
I thought like this is gonna be even worse than last year. Nah, something clicked after that game. Something clicked. They might not be pulling out the wins all the time, but they are competitive. And now they somebody that's really got to worry about. Man, I'm really proud of that program right now. But credit to Howard. What's up with Howard? Can we talk about that?
Yes, I actually do want to talk about
what's up with this.
I do want to talk about that.
Up and down like this.
Quarterback play.
Here's the funny thing about that, because I was thinking about that, and I mentioned it on Zach's show. The crazy part about it, against FBS programs, Howard has looked like the best HBCU. In all of the diaspora. But when they play another HBCU, they look like, they look terrible, to be fair. So I don't know what it is. Jekyll and Hyde team, yes. We talked about it on Thursday, keys to victory. And I said it kind of, tongue in cheek, was like, hey, keep the ball out of Quentin Williams' hands.
I mean, they needed it in his hands Saturday.
And, that's how you win the game. And I don't know.
I mean, they needed him on Saturday. He kind of came up big late in that game for him, especially with that last touchdown pass. But
right.
So I mean, like that's the thing. If he on and he playing good, Howard gonna win most likely. But if he not on and he having a bad game, it seems like their offense can't get going. Even with the the rushing attack they got, it seems like they go wherever Q will take them.
Right.
Yeah. I don't even know who they got next. Oh, they got who do they have next? I don't even think. I'll have to look it up.
Who you talking about? Howard?
Yeah.
They got Delaware State next.
Oh, well, never mind. There's no.
Yeah.
Never mind. Yeah. No, I'm. No comment. I guess I'm gonna steal a question from Zach. Who is the number one or number two? Matter of fact, I'm gonna wait till I get through the rest of the MEAC. On Thursday night, we saw North Carolina Central take on Morgan State. They ended up getting the win 16-10. I'm gonna be honest with you. I was more impressed with Morgan State's defense than anything.
Mm-hmm.
Again, tongue in cheek. Morgan State had North Carolina Central offense looking like how we've been talking about Alabama State offense. And it wasn't even close. North Carolina Central literally scored the 2 touchdowns, or the most of the points they scored were due to short field turnovers on defense. And I think they did have one long drive.
This is MEAC football, man. This is MEAC football. It is what it is. It's hard-fought wins. It's a gauntlet. We already know this. But this is what we expected from Morgan State defensively.
Agreed.
This is why they brought in all those pieces. I mean, I expect nothing less from them. They're just dominant defensively, and that's a team who I'm also worried about playing just because of how great they are. And if they had something offensively, maybe we talking about them going to LA instead of North Carolina Central. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how good they are defensively. They're saying that it's kind of sad that they offense, let them down like that. North Carolina Central, I'm not going to hold this too much against them. Like I said, that defense is loaded.
Yeah.
And as long as Davius Richard finds a way to pull it out, that's all that really matters. At the end of the day, you at a point now where you're just trying to win and survive. You ain't got to be pretty. It's never going to be pretty in the MEAC. You're just trying to win and survive, get back to Atlanta. They could be better because, him and Mookie are a dangerous combination. They could be better. All right, but I'm not going to hold this against them. They got the win. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, North Carolina see another defense even remotely close to this. Until maybe the closest defense I think they'll see to this will probably be in Atlanta, and the defense they face won't even be that Morgan State.
Nah, this is the best defense they're gonna see.
Yeah, that's why I say remotely close. Because I already know they ain't gonna see another defense as as good. Now, Cobi. Your squad, South Carolina State took on Delaware State. Delaware State came out, scored early, and then South Carolina State went 35 ounces.
Yeah. Surprised me, if you could believe it or not. I think that was probably the best offensive showing we had all season. And I'm not counting Virginia Lynchburg because that's Division II. But yeah, best offensive showing we had all season. The running game, we got about 4 running backs. All of them are freshmen. And I love that running back room so much because all 4 of them can get going at any time. And all 3 of them together combined for over 320 yards rushing. I think Tyler Smith had 122. Jawan had 119. I think Josh Shaw had 95 on the ground. 6 touchdowns in total, something crazy like that. My thing is, though, I still got concerns. The offensive coordinator, I'm looking at this game and I'm thinking, where the hell was this all season? Because you were calling plays as if you didn't know what you was doing. Like my man was letting, it was like he was just asking Madden to pick the plays for him all season. And then we come out and we do this against Delaware State, and I don't get what he's doing right now. I don't, but hopefully he can keep this going Thursday, because that's what we need. That's what we need him to be in his bag. I don't want him to be the reason why we lose this game like he was versus Tennessee Tech. If I'm being honest, because we shouldn't have lost that game either. But yeah, great offensive showing. Corey Fields even looked good. Justin Smith-Brown, he's our best receiver right now, most dynamic receiver. He went down with a minor injury. Hopefully he'll be back for Thursday. We need him. But my biggest concern is that even with that great performance offensively, we still have not found a way to prioritize our biggest weapon offensively, and that's tight end Keyshawn Toney. Why? What? Like, why aren't we doing it? I drove to the Charlotte game when we played UNC Charlotte, and I remember after the game, I heard the UNC Charlotte coach tell Keyshawn, "We game planned for you all week. I don't know why your coaches didn't give you the ball." I heard this man say that. Now, if they saying that, why? If they can notice it by watching a week's worth of film, what are y'all doing? Why are we not, like, that's why even with that performance, man, I'm really I'm a rock with my team regardless, but man, right. we still got a way to go.
Coach Pugh deserves better in his final season. I said a couple weeks ago, I'm going to miss what he has brought to the game. But I want it to be over because it's hurting his legacy. I mean, granted, I understand it's not, saying nobody's going to look at it and be like, oh, Coach Pugh was a terrible coach because look at how he finished his career. Oh, yeah. But yeah, nobody's going to look at it like that. But I hate how it looks, saying on his ride out, his farewell ride out. But with that said, John Horst asked the question: is Teddy Keaton the candidate to replace Coach Pugh at South Carolina State?
John Horst, that's a good question. As much as we hear about Trenton Berry, I think Teddy Keaton should be in that carousel as well, because look what he's done at Allen. For all the credit that we give Coach Berry, and he deserves a lot of credit for what he did at Benedict, is Teddy Keaton not doing the same thing at Allen University? Have they? What are they, 6-2 right now? Have they not been competitive? Even when they were only winning 2 games in the season, they were competitive with every single team, with exception of Benedict, that they played on a yearly basis. So yes, that man should be in the carousel. Now, where you have him at in that pecking order, subjective. But yes, his name needs to be in it. I don't know if it is. They're being very tight-lipped around about that coaching hire. Is I got a little bit of information, and I definitely can't say it. But they being very tight-lipped about it. All I'm saying is he should be. If Barry's right there, he should be.
Yeah. All right. Now go ahead. I didn't know if you had something. Okay. Let me ask the question. I'm still in this one from Zach too. In the MEAC, because we just went through, basically the MEAC from, games from this past weekend. In the MEAC, who's your number 2 team? Because we got a clear-cut number 1. We got a clear-cut number 6. Who's your number 2?
Ooh.
Because every team from 2 through 5 has looked like, oh, they could be a competitor. And then now it's like, oh.
I might give it to Morgan State.
Morgan?
Yeah.
I don't mind that.
Morgan was my pick, but if
I would pick Morgan if Morgan can consistently score more than 21 points a game, or at least get to 21 points a game. That's the only thing that from picking more. You just don't know what you're gonna get offensively, and 14 points on there ain't gonna cut it. It's just not gonna cut it. So that's why I'm a go Howard. Yeah. I'm a go Howard, but that's not a confident thing. It's just because they can put up more points right now. But I'm with you on Morgan. I see why you in there.
I'm gonna be honest with you, Cobi. I don't even think they need 21. If they can get 17 points from their just from their offense, because their defense may get you a touchdown, in itself. But if your offense can get you 17 points, if you look at some of the games they've lost, if they had 17 points from the offense, they win most of those games.
I mean, they would have beat Central for sure if they would have scored 17.
Now, just think about the game. What was the game? Was it Townsend when they went into overtime? They missed the they had the ball. If they could score 17, which at the point, it would have been 17-10, I think, at end of the final score. They couldn't punch it in. If they could have scored 14, if they could have punched it in at the end, they were on the 1 and could not punch it in. Couldn't dial up a play. So that's why Morgan State. I like Morgan State. I'm leaning more Howard.
Yeah, you kind of talking me out of my pick.
Yeah, I'm leaning more Howard. I like Morgan State. And John Horst said Morgan State needs to get themselves a quarterback. I don't know if it's necessary. I mean, I think quarterback. I don't know if it's the quarterback. I don't know what it is, honestly.
It would help if they still had Alfonso Graham. It would help a lot. But I don't see no clear answer in that quarterback room. Go get you one, please.
Yeah.
All right. Moving on, man. Richmond took on North Carolina A&T. They got the win 33-10. Tough start for the Coach Brown era.
Yeah.
Still have not passed for 100 yards in a game. They literally have what was it? Somebody posted earlier, 350 some yards on the year passing. I know some quarterbacks got that in the game. No, seriously, in 7 games, they got like 357 yards passing.
I'm finna look this up. Hold up.
Okay.
That's a real stat.
That's a real stat.
Oh, wow.
And can tell me if I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure that's.
Whew. Yeah.
So, hold on. That's right.
Yeah. They got 359 passing yards on the season.
Okay. I'm sorry, I was wrong. 359. So,
man,
7 games, gentlemen. 7 games.
Ever since they got rid of Mr. Bring Me My Money, things have been going downhill for them. Ain't nothing went right. The A&T. I don't know. I don't know what's going on with them, but I don't like seeing this from them. And they a rival. I don't even like talking about them like this. But man, like I'm used to seeing them be dominant. I'm used to seeing them be cocky. I'm used to seeing them have all the swagger and and bravado. And things have changed. I don't like where this program is at it right now. I don't like to see it.
Hey,
I agree.
Said they've played 7 games, right?
Correct.
All right. They have 0 passing touchdowns on the season.
Yeah.
They have 6 rushing touchdowns on the season.
They literally have 50. That's like they're averaging 50. If my math is correct, like 51 yards a game passing.
Oh my God.
They would be a wonderful service academy.
They have as many interceptions on the season as touchdowns.
Yeah.
Let's try to get a look.
Total touchdowns, like offensive touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Yeah, ladies and gentlemen.
Bro, if you ain't gonna win too many games like that, man.
No.
I'm surprised they got the one. They got we give people flack for some of the outlandish takes they have. But there's a bet out there with Dave said A&T won't win 2 games. And this was, in the summer. And I was like, bro, that's easy money. A&T will win 2 games.
Right.
Find me the second win. They got Hampton this weekend. If they lose to Hampton, find me that next win.
I ain't giving them Hampton. I'm not giving them Hampton. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it.
So speaking of, Hampton played Delaware, lost 47. Delaware beat them 47-3. With that being said, though, Hampton can throw the ball.
Yeah.
Hampton can run the ball.
Hampton done scored more than 6 touchdowns. That's for sure.
Yeah. So again, find me that second win, because and I feel bad because I was like, man, that's terrible. That's a horrible take. And I know the reason why the take was made was kind of in I think it was a lot more spiteful than anything. But
right is right.
Right is right. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not seeing it. Hampton is actually being. I actually thought these two would be reversed. I thought Hampton would be one win, and North Carolina A&T would be, have more wins than that. But Hampton is. They've also been kind of Jekyll and Hyde.
Oh yeah, they roller coaster for sure.
Yeah.
But it all goes back to that quarterback play though. Just like how when Zealous having a good game, they own. Whenever he off, they usually as a team as a whole, they aren't on their A game. So I mean, they kind of go as he goes. So if you A&T, you got to try to stop him, because if you can stop him, you can slow that offense down. You can slow the Hampton down, but I don't know if they can keep up with scoring with Hampton.
I at least expected the defense to. I mean, with Coach Brown coming in and granted, it's his first year. He doesn't have his players.
I mean, they lost a lot of players, bro.
Yeah, they did. So, but I at least expected be a little bit more competitive on the defensive side. So, yeah. But we shall see in due time. But next up, this team is starting to become one of they turn heel. They've started to become a Tennessee State. It's starting to become HBCU villain. They took on Lincoln, California, and got the win 54-0. Yeah, but that's not the part that makes them. It's the when they I forget who they beat. But they put up the what they say, SWAC, MEAC, we black, and then everybody was in an uproar. Well, most people in an uproar. And then they posted this week. They were wearing their red, say we got it in blood or something. And you know what I'm saying? And people got mad about that or something. I don't know. But Tennessee State.
I thought you was talking about the attendance thing again. Because it seems to me like attendance is what everybody been talking about.
Oh, that was another thing too. Yeah.
I don't know why the attendance discussion is so,
bro, it's crazy.
Problem as it is, like, man, be for real, man.
It's crazy, dog. Like, everybody talking about attendance. Everybody calling other schools out for attendance, and it's like, bro, why are we even talking about this?
I understand wanting attendance to be better, but like the whole competition, we up here, y'all down there, like, chill out. And
ain't too many people know where their school are and like what their attendance numbers are. Like the average attendance numbers for your school, ain't too many people know that. So I don't know why people is trying to make it a competition. Like, I don't know, man.
I do want to. I think that at least from what I've been noticing, attendance has been up across the board for these games. A lot of HBCU games, and yeah, HBCU versus HBCU are drawing a lot more than a lot of FCS schools, other FCS schools, but
well, not Delaware, because apparently they finna leave and go to FBS because of Hampton. You didn't see that?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. They said Hampton wasn't enough fans in the stand and stuff, and so that's the reason why they want to go to FBS.
First of all, you in
Hey,
Delaware.
look on HBCU game that they got an article about it.
You are in Delaware, bro.
Oh my God. Don't.
You literally are in Delaware.
Right, man.
Check out HBCU game day, man.
Yeah.
They got an article about it.
That's crazy. The FBS, man, stay where you at, bro. You don't want them problems up there. You don't want problems at the FBS level.
Boys think they James Madison.
For real.
All right. Next up, man, I do want to bring up the our D1 HBCU top 10. For a disclaimer, Cobi had nothing to do with this. He had nothing to do with this. So I don't want you to get I don't want people to get mad at you, Cobi.
I'm glad you said that, because who would have showed link me to whatever it is.
Hey, when I post it on Twitter, I'm gonna put all the stuff, and then I'm gonna say Cobi helped us, and I'm gonna tag you in it. But nah, here we go. Not much changed in the top of the. Hold on. So say why it ain't pop up. That's why. Okay, here we go. Starting at number 10, Prairie View A&M. Again, like I said, they want to buy. They moved up. Grambling. So Prairie View moved up to number 10. Grambling at 3 and 4 was also on the buy. They ended up moving up. At number 8, Howard, 3 and 4. They moved up. I think they were number 10. At number 7, Alabama A&M at 5 and 3. Again, they were also on the buy. Number 6, Southern moved up to number 6. They are 4 and 3 with the win over, and we just talked about it. Bethune. At number 5, Jackson State stayed put. Well, I'm sorry, they were tied at 4, but we got them at 5 with the 21-6 win. At number 4, Alcorn State is 4 and 3. Number 3, Tennessee State at 5 and 2. Number 2, FAMU at 6 and 1, and number 1, North Carolina Central at 6 and 1. Anything, Cobi? You got any thoughts on it before we tag you in this?
Let me see one more time.
All right, here we go.
He finna pick this thing apart, boy.
Nah,
I ain't worried about it.
You see the way he leaned up in his seat? He's like, yeah, I've been waiting on this.
I don't mind this. I really don't mind. Yeah, I ain't got no problem with this. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't got no problem with this list. Nothing that I even want to be like, oh, I have this school here and this school here. Like, nah, I like it. I like it.
All right, so Cobi gonna be tagged in it, ladies and gentlemen. Cobi helped. He picked out all the ones y'all don't like. He picked. It's actually so, like, as we are starting to get later in the season, a lot of people only do a top 5, and I understand why. So, it's getting tougher and tougher. I do want to say they want a bye week, but they are getting hot. They won 2 in a row. Alabama State is in my honorable mention.
They are starting to get hot. They are starting to get hot.
What they do this Saturday against A&M in this Magic City Classic, they might rise a little bit.
Yeah. Well, if they keep playing them, never mind.
They keep playing the right person, the right quarterback.
You said it, not me, but yeah.
I guarantee you, I promise you, I guarantee you, D. Davis rolls out. He may not start, but I guarantee it's going to be a possession. He's going to roll out there, and everybody's going to in the stands going to moan and groan. People going to be watching on TV and be like, "What in the world? Why?" So, yeah,
it wouldn't surprise me at all.
Yeah. I got love for Alabama State and Alabama A&M, but I ain't gonna say a bet, but I do have a prediction on this game. So I need one side to win, just so I can tell some people I told you so.
Yeah.
If not, I promise you they're gonna say something to me. What's Khalil A. Smith and Kendall Kellerman? I mean, no, it's Kendall A. Smith and Khalil Kellerman. So what's good, MEAC Mike? So
MEAC Mike, boy, that dude, man. You seen his tweet for the day? Boy, that
no,
dude,
I didn't.
Man.
Oh my goodness.
Dude,
I'm scared to look it up. I'm scared to look it up.
That man called out some schools, bro. That was funny, dog.
Bro, so I got into it. Somebody got into it with me, man, just because I was like, I saw him talk about Delaware State being number 2, and I was like, oh, okay, nah, this could be more accurate, you know?
Yeah.
Not even looking at all 5 schools. Somebody from Alabama A&M got so mad at me that he pulled up those screenshots of South Carolina State, and like before you know it, we just going back and forth. I'm like, why you taking it so serious, bro? It's attendance. Chill out.
Yeah, bro. That Delaware State had 20 fans, boy. Well, that had me weak, bro. That had me weak. And the one about PV.
Yeah. Because nice facilities for what?
Nice facilities for like, what, man?
But honestly, though. Honestly, for what? For what?
Hey, I ain't gonna lie. All of them was accurate, though, bro. All of them was accurate, man. But that was a great tweet, MEAC. Great tweet, bro.
Very creative. Yeah, I like it.
The boy Zach said Cobi been fighting for his life on Twitter today.
Boy.
Oh man.
Zach no more than anybody. Shit, nah, but for real though, I really been fighting, like unnecessarily just fighting with people today, man. I don't know what it is. Twitter just says Twitter ain't a real place.
It ain't, bro.
It's not a real place.
Not at all.
Well, it's real feelings though. It ain't a real place. It's some real feelings. Man, you get sucked up in it before you know it. So, all right, man. Let's talk D2 real quick. D2 HBCU football. Allen took on Miles. Miles ended up getting the win 28-21. With the aforementioned Teddy Keaton and his squad. Another close one. Another close one. Miles, I'm not gonna say easily. Miles is the second best team in the SIAC. I don't think that's much of a question right now. That matchup against Tuskegee, I think in a few weeks, it's gonna be big to see who's gonna be able to take on Benedict for that right to either be number 2 or win the crown. I'm liking Miles more and more.
Same.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Next up, man, Tuskegee took on Savannah State and squeaked out a win in Savannah, 21-14.
I wanted to go to this game. I was right there, man, but I should have went. I should have went.
Yeah. We talked about this one too, but when we talked about it, we talked about not who gonna win, but how close would the score be. Kentucky State traveled to Benedict, traveled to Columbia, and Benedict got the win 63-14. Right, that's probably close to. Nah, it's more than what I think we said 28 or whatever, and that was it wasn't close. Next up, man, Morehouse took on. Morehouse took on Fort Valley State, and Fort Valley State put it on 31-3. Fort Valley State
get tired of this, man.
Say that again.
When is Morehouse gonna get tired of this?
I will say Morehouse has been a lot more competitive this year. Under they do have a new head coach. I'm trying to be, give them a little time. They've been a lot more competitive. Fort Valley State was supposed to be the number 2 team in the SIAC, so at least number 3. I'm sorry, they were number 3. Were they in the preseason? It's I can't remember the order prediction, but yeah. So yeah. Now, I didn't have this one on here. Actually, I'll wait because I do the other notable games at the end. So in the CIAA, Bowie State versus Bluefield State. I was dead wrong. I thought that Bluefield State, because of the way Bowie State has played the last 2 weeks, but you know that Bluefield State had a better chance. But I also got to remember that Bowie State played Virginia State and Virginia Union back to back, and when they got blew out in both of those games, it's because they was playing Virginia State and Virginia Union back to back. They beat Bluefield State 40-11. This next one also, I was wrong about that one. Lincoln, PA. Coach G's current coaching staff took on Virginia Union, his old alma mater, and got beat 57-0.
Lord.
Yeah, they getting a smackdown on that one, my boy.
Yes, sir. Then nice. Now, shocker of all shockers of the weekend. I mean, I saw everybody retweeting this, and I was like, yeah, it's a typo. Elizabeth City State went to Virginia State and got the upset 17-16.
Yo, the Twitter was in a frenzy with that happening.
Yes,
a frenzy. Nobody could believe it.
Bro, that was so crazy to me, man.
Yeah, I did not see it coming. Yeah, I was in.
Ain't no way
that was another one we talked about when we said it's not going to be a who wins, but by how much.
Yeah, ain't no way that's supposed to happen, man.
Yeah.
Shout out for Elizabeth City for making it happen, but bro, ain't nobody say they saw that coming. They lying.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Nobody saw that coming.
Now, other notable games. I do want to give a special shout out in the SIAC to Edward Waters. Took on Albany State, and another in the back-to-back weeks, another comeback win, beating Albany State 31-27. This coming on the heels of their last second win against Tuskegee in the shocker there. So Edward Waters, man, getting hot at the right time. Finding building something to build off for next week, or I'm sorry, for next year. So
talk about nobody saw it coming. Virginia Lynchburg beating Lane.
Oh my good. Virginia Lynchburg.
I'm happy.
45-42 over Lane on homecoming.
Yeah.
This is a 2-game win streak for them now. You know, I mean, I look at that school every year and I'm like, the fact that they play so much Division I programs. Anyway, you know, like you can't help but feel a little sorry for that program. So now they finally are in a space where they're winning, man. I'm happy for them kids, but they deserve that.
Yeah. Trying to see. Central State beat Clark Atlanta 48-21. Clark Atlanta continues to struggle.
These Georgia teams, man, like.
Yeah.
Valley, the rest, Morehouse and Clark Atlanta. What's up?
Yeah. Another close game in the CIAA. Livingstone got the win over Shaw 27-26. Fayetteville State beat Johnson C. Smith 14-7. And Winston-Salem fighting Stephen Gaithers this week. They won over St. Augustine's 24-17. This is also, I think this was the first game they had without their head coach, St. Augustine, since the firing of the head coach.
Yeah.
Which it's a lot of turmoil in that program as well. So
Johnson C. Smith lost with old girl in the stands. That celebrity. That's crazy. Was it going out like that?
wow.
Boy, say it's finna be Jordan Poole out there.
if they ain't the motivation, bro, I don't know what
That's funny. Next up, man, we got the conference players of the week. This is the not us, but this is who the conference put up for their players of the week. So here we go. Starting off with the SWAC. On the offensive side, quarterback from Alcorn State, Aaron Allen, who has been nothing but phenomenal this season. On the defensive side, we stayed at Alcorn State. Defensive lineman Malachi Bailey and the newcomer from Jackson State, Jacoby Morgan. So congratulations to them.
Thanks.
In the MEAC, you had offensive player of the week, Quinn Williams from Howard University. Defensive player of the week was Kenny Gallup Jr. from Howard University. The rookie of the week, Jawan Howell from South Carolina State.
Yes,
the offensive lineman of the week was Eric Brown Jr. again from South Carolina State.
Mm-hmm.
And the specialist of the week from Norfolk State, Grandon Wilcox.
Love it,
now,
man.
Moving on to, I'm sorry, go ahead, Cobi.
Oh no, I'm just saying, I hope my dogs keep balling, man. I'm happy.
Now moving on to the CIAA, the food line players of the CIAA food line players of the week for week 8. At quarterback from Bowie State, Jordan Morse. The running back of the week from Shaw, Sidney Gibbs. The wide receiver of the week from Elizabeth City State, Ian Edwards. The offensive lineman of the week from Virginia Union, Justin Meade. The defensive lineman of the week from Fayetteville State, Shy Gaskin. The linebacker of the week from Virginia State, Carl Poole. The DB of the week from Bowie State, Jaden Carter. The kicker/punter of the week from Fayetteville State, Josiah Boyd. And the rookie of the week from Winston-Salem State, Dalen Lee. That's what we got for players of the week.
Well deserved, man. Congratulations to all those.
Yeah. SIAC will be putting theirs out. It'll be, so we'll talk about it on Thursday when they drop theirs. But now, man, we're at the end of the show. I want to thank Cobi for coming through, as always, kicking it with us, putting your reputation on the line, coming on here with us as we tag you in all our stuff and tell everybody Cobi made us do it.
You know how much people hit me up last time after that Coach Few comment?
Oh man, I can imagine.
Oh
and,
my
and
God,
it wasn't even
bro.
your fault.
What you know that we don't know? Like what's going on?
Was,
I'm like, hey, man.
It was Zach who actually started it.
Yep.
Zach made the comment, and yeah. So, but Cobi, man,
Blue, man, it was Blue, man.
Yeah. It was.
Always behind something.
But Zach, man, tell the people where they can find you, man.
You just called that man Zach.
Oh, I'm sorry, Cobi. Tell the people where they can find you.
I thought you.
My apologies.
Hey, man, y'all can find me on, of course, YouTube at the BlitzCity Podcast. I just dropped 2 videos today. Also, on social media, you can find me at Cobi Orr, just like how you see on the screen, but all together for Twitter and IG. And I don't get on my Facebook like some other people do, so don't go looking for me there. But everywhere else, y'all can follow me there.
All right, man. And like I said, man, we definitely do appreciate you coming through. Knew we had to have you on. That's an incomplete pass. Knew we had to have you on when for the South Carolina State, Delaware State, just to talk about that. That was like, man, if somebody know both programs,
Exactly.
It's gonna be Cobi. What else I got? Ant, you got anything before we get up out of here?
No, man, it's about to be basketball season though. That's what.
That is true. That is true.
Sir.
Definitely about to be basketball season. We got Magic City this week, man. It's gonna be, and the trash talking has started.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I love it.
This is creative, man.
Oh man, I love it. Did y'all see somebody? I think it was Melanated posted. No, it wasn't Melanated. It was somebody else posted. It was a picture of it said Alabama State and they had Glorilla, and then they had A&M had Sexy Red. Oh man, I love it every year. I love it. But anything else, we'll be back on Thursday. We gotta spice. We're gonna spice up. Kelly Flitt's gonna join us. We gotta spice it up. Get somebody else on there to talk this Magic City Classic. We might have to have some extra special guests come through. But until then, like that, we out.
This show was presented by betonline.ag.
Bring me my money.